My upload today for the 7th of May 2020 is with regard to the coping mechanisms basically required when experiencing horrendous incidents of victimization and violations. As I've mentioned in previous uploads, I've had the good fortune of recovery and fellowship since 2006 when I first experienced a vendetta of defamation that damaged my career and reputation. The recent vendetta, as I've mentioned in previous uploads, has been manageable with the help of experience from recovery and recovery skills, etc. There's a big emphasis on mental health and well-being nowadays, and the experiences that are occurring for me at the moment have made me query and consider and become very concerned with the mental health issues of individuals incapable of honesty, respect for privacy, human dignity, and especially the issue of integrity that seems to be lacking in this very serious incident of human rights violations that I'm experiencing. So to the fellowship, as I keep saying, there's a lot of gratitude, and as regards the issue of mental health and coping skills for victims of either be it assault, be it violations, offences, wrongdoings, defamation, the main priority for victims of these kind of people and these kind of culprits is basically self-care. As I've mentioned, and as is obvious throughout my uploads, there's been obvious and evident medical incompetence and the effects thereof visible even in these uploads throughout these shares that I've been making, and only for my own knowledge and expertise and studies with regards to self-care and healing, self-healing and recovery, my physical health would be a lot worse. Medical incompetence is inexcusable, and to disrespect women's health is absolutely unforgivable. So those individuals, the professionals that have been involved in this vendetta of human rights violations against Emer Griffin McElligott, speaking here on these uploads, that is also experiencing identity theft, financial theft and property theft without any support or services. This entire incident involving the professionals that have not had the courtesy or the decency to respect their own obligations and the ethics and morals attached to their professions, but the lack of humanity that has been very evident in this entire vendetta that I've experienced is a very serious concern for others as well as myself that have also been victimized and violated. So as regards the issue of physical health and the lack of professionalism of professionals that are in denial, that are refuting, that are ignoring the matters that they've caused, those people that are incapable of confronting the damages that they've done, is for 2020 in a democracy a huge concern. To actually have to make an attempt at disrespecting a person's mental health in the midst of these kind of violations and victimization isn't just insulting, it's very injurious also for individuals, professionals or non-professionals, to be in any way defaming a person's mental health without knowledge of experience of the person they are defaming, and without knowledge of the facts that they are assuming about and making assertions and assumptions about. So that's my concern as a victim for today: health and well-being, especially in the midst of medical negligence, especially in the midst of defamation and defamation of career, defamation of good name, etc. as a teacher, to have my career as an educator spoiled by culprits of hate crime is a difficult issue for me to come to terms with. As a teacher that respected my students and my profession, it's been highly disgraceful for a teacher to be so badly mistreated. So there are so many aspects to all of this, but the main concern, as I say today, is mental health and well-being, physical well-being in particular, when there's medical incompetence occurring. So, as I've mentioned also, the insulting issues that are not just defamatory, but also involve ignorance of the facts, not just from the culprit's stance, but from my own perspective. To be ignorant of the information that I'm entitled to be informed of is quite disgraceful for an adult citizen in 2020 to be ignorant of the facts that I'm entitled to be told of and informed of and consulted about are all issues of concern also. So this is the matter with human rights violations occurring. I've mentioned already the obstruction of justice that I've experienced and the preventative measures that people have caused for the assistance that I require and that I'm entitled to being withheld from me. So this is what's happening. It's an injustice, it's inequality, it's an act of injustice, it's inequality, and it's inhumane. So rather than confront the guilty culprits, the individuals involved seem to find it easier assisting a concealment of facts and find it easier to avoid the wrongdoings being corrected and find it easier, obviously, to assist the guilty culprits in avoiding the justice that they are perverting and obstructing. So that's absolutely outrageous. Offences that have been occurring have been unjustifiable, and for guilty culprits to be assisted and for an innocent victim, not just of one vendetta, but of two vendettas now in the past 15 years, for an innocent victim to be violated and victimised so severely is absolutely shocking in 2020. For, as I've mentioned, a hierarchy of needs and the requirements that I'm entitled to with regards to advocacy, supports and services to safeguard my constitutional rights and my human rights to be withheld and obstructed, just down to the issue of hate crime and guilty offenders of my constitutional rights, is a very sad sign of the times, not just for this victim but for other victims as well. And as regards defamation of character and the nonsense I've had to listen to, it's absolutely shocking that the justice system isn't defending and protecting an innocent woman's stance of being defamed as a character of such repute that I wouldn't even repeat the awful accusations I've had to listen to. So this upload is, as I've mentioned in all uploads, for the attention of politicians of integrity and honesty and common sense. The nonsense that is being facilitated and the wrongdoings that are being facilitated are absolutely unforgivable. These uploads are also for the attention of the United Nations and also for other victims that are suffering at the mercy and mercilessness of haters perpetrating identity theft, financial theft and property theft in Tralee, County Kerry, Ireland.